Hey, Shalom, I want to start off as by giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua Shem Kodash, that belongs to the apostles of GMS, and honors to you brothers doing the work in truth and sincerity. This is a quick one. This is actually inspired from the videos that I've been in regarding Amber Guyger, and I had basically some what was ultimately misinformation. I believe I would refer to her as an adulteress. I know I certainly did, at least on one occasion. But when I looked into the story more, because it basically said she had had an affair, and I jumped to a conclusion, so Salakia for that. But when I read more into it, according to the article, she was just basically dealing with a dude that was already married, right? So is that adultery according to the scriptures? No, right? If if a single woman, right, a woman that's not in a relationship lays down with a man that is in a relationship with another woman, then that is not adultery, right? According to the law of the Bible, right? Now this is Exodus 20:14. It says, "Thou shalt not commit adultery," right? Which is plain and simple to the point, right? But in this world, the meaning of adultery has been skewed, to a point, right? So I'll get into different things, into law, into whatnot. But I mean, first things first. Actually, an important thing to do is to establish what marriage is in the first place, right? It says Exodus 22:16, "And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife," right? So if basically you're a man, you spit some game on a woman, whatever, what have you, right? And she ain't promised to anyone, right? Because that's what betrothed means. It means you're promised this to someone in marriage, right? If she's not promised to anyone and she's not married, right, and you spit game and she likes you, and then y'all have sex or whatever, what have you, right? That's what it means by "and lie with her." Then you are now husband and wife according to the scriptures, right? Now, does that mean that you want to get technical in this day and age? Are we adulterers? Yes, we are, right? Because none of the women out here are virgins, right? But that's why this was said. This is Matthew 16:14. It says, "A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and they shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas." Right, and he left them and departed. Right, so this is a wicked and adulterous generation, right? And that's what we're in at the moment, right? Like I said, there ain't any women out there that are virgins when we deal with them, right? Esau sexualized everything, and everyone just loses their virginity at such a young age. Very rarely you see someone uni age that's still a virgin, right? Especially after the first couple of weeks of uni anyway. So where was I? So it says, "If a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife." So sex, according to the Bible, is marriage, right? Now, technically speaking, was Guyger, married to someone else? More than likely, because according to this, the first man that she had laid with, right, would have been her. Would have been her husband, right? Other than all of the other men, really she was committing adultery, if you want to get technical. But the point is, ultimately right now we're all committing adultery, right? The standard that we go by is we ask her, if she's seeing anyone. If she's single, if she says no, then that's good to deal with, right? Because ultimately they've all dealt with someone, right? So that's the first point. Right, now it says Deuteronomy 22:22. I'll read through to 28. It says, "If a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, right, then they shall both of them die. Both the man that lay with the woman and the woman, so shall thou put evil away from Israel." Right now, they ain't doing that at the moment, right? Because, is there more up? Yeah. So yeah, there's that ain't happening at the moment. These things, it's so bad right now that this gets glorified. They make songs about it. They make it seem like it's something cool, but it's not. It's wickedness. Right? Adultery is wickedness, but in the ancient world, an adulterer and adulteress, right? They would be put to death. Right? There was no if, buts, or maybes about it. Right? It says, if a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto an husband, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, then they shall bring them both out unto the gate of the city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. Right? That the damsel, because she cried not, being in the city, and the man. So basically, the damsel in this instance is getting put to death because basically she wasn't crying. She had people that would have helped her, but she didn't cry. So the only assumption is she was down with it, right? It says, because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife, right? So shall thou put away evil from among you, right? It says, stone them with stones, right? As a sin. This is 1 Timothy 5:20. Them that sin rebuke before all, that others also may fear. Right. So in the modern day we'll just rebuke, right? But in the ancient world, judgment was set out in public so that everyone was able to see the judgment, and that everyone was able to fear as well. Let's see if I got another one here. Which hits the point a little bit more. I mean, it goes into it. Them that sin rebuke before all, that others may fear. Right. So these punishments were public, so that you see someone getting stoned to death, you're gonna be like, look, man, I don't want this heat. You think twice, right? Yeah, if that demon ever jumped in you, but you remember that stoning that you saw, and you're like, nah, I ain't trying to go through that, right? This is verse 25. But if a man found a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her, right, so a woman that's promised a marriage, and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. There is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. So basically, this guy, he basically came up on unawares, right? He snuck up on her, right? And basically, well, really, he killed himself, right? For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. So she went down with it. This is what people in this modern day will refer to as rape, right? But she was she was a betrothed, promised a marriage, right? So for the best part married, right? You ain't you treat a woman that is married, and a woman that's promised a marriage, right? You might as well assume, from the perspective of laying with that woman, right? You might as well assume from that perspective of laying, as woman's got to stress that they're the best part of married, right? And then what consummates the marriage, from a betrothal to a real marriage, is sex, as we read in Exodus 22:16. If a man find a damsel, verse 28, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He may not put away all his days, right? So basically, what this is going into now is, a guy, he saw a woman, right? She wasn't married. She wasn't promised in marriage, right? And then what did he do? He lay with her, right? He once again what this modern world will call rape, right? Which that's really what it is, because rape means to seize and arrest. When you look into the word, right? But was it lay hold? Where is it? Lay hold. Thapash, right? To manipulate, seize, to capture, right? To catch, handle, lay hold, take hold of, seize, wield, right? So that's basically what this this man did in this situation, right? But now she is now his wife, right? So this is that was the quote punishment, right, that this man had to go through, right? And 50 shekels he had to give as well, right? 50 shekels of silver that he had to give, right? So these are the laws on sex and marriage and whatever, what have you, right? But what this is going into is the fact that if a woman that is married or betrothed lies down with another man, then that is adultery, right? That there is adultery. Physical adultery, because you do have spiritual adultery as well, right? Which is what Israel committed unto the Lord. Israel committed spiritual adultery unto the Lord, right? Because we started dealing with these other gods, right? Whether it was Christianity, Jesus, Allah, and all of them, Hare Krishna, and all of those are other gods. Right? And when the Lord Moses saw that, right, the Lord didn't like that, right? That is spiritual fornication, right? It says, Exodus 21:10, if he take him another wife, right, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish, right? So it says, I was just jumping straight to the point, by basically saying, look, this is going into the fact that an Israelite man can, have another wife. That is, he can have as many women as he can afford. You look at, King Solomon. King Solomon had 1,000 women, right? You read 1 Kings 11, right? It says, but King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which Yahweh said unto the children of Israel, you shall not go in unto them, neither shall they come in unto you. For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love, and he had 700 wives and 300 concubines. Right? And his wives turned away his heart, right? Because basically what happened was he basically started getting into their gods, right? And then when that happened, Lord is a jealous power, right? You ain't, an Israelite man isn't supposed to worship anything other, or rather to have any god other than Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? Pursuant to the law, right? So that's the reason why Yahweh Shai. King Solomon is Yahweh Shai, the reincarnation, if you can receive it. But that's the reason why King Solomon went off. There was nothing wrong with the fact he had, so many wives, right? You look at our forefather, King David, a man after the Most High's heart. He had many wives, many women that he dealt with. So that a man dealing with multiple women is not adultery, right? So if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and the duty of marriage shall he not diminish, right? I think I got to kind of read into this. That's basically the point, right? It says 1 Corinthians 6:12, right? It says, all things are lawful unto me, but all things are not expedient, right? Because a Jake will hear, yeah, man, you can have many women. And then now he goes wild, right? He starts getting as many women, whatever. But the key thing is as many women as he can afford, right? Because if you're a poor man, you can't afford 10 women, right? You have to still take care of those women, right? Now in the kingdom of Israel, that ain't gonna be an issue for us, right? Let me see if I can spell. It says Isaiah 60:22. It says, a little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a great nation. Yahweh will hasten it in his time, right? So an Israelite man, he will become a nation. And how is he gonna do that? By having multiple women, right? So just that's something for the kingdom. But for now, right? Look, man, if the Lord sends you a woman, be happy with a woman, right? There are several brothers out there that they'll be happy for one, right? Scripture says, "Ye shall have trouble in the flesh," right? And also goes into the scriptures also go into, I think, either in 1 Corinthians 7 or 1 Corinthians 11, right? About him that is married, right, careth for things of of how he may please his wife, right, not how he may please the Lord, right? Hey, Paul went as far as saying that he wishes that we were as him, i.e., not dealing with a woman, right? But if you burn, right, and ultimately, Lord knows what you need, right? And the Lord will give you what you need in in different times or whatever, what have you, right? But once again, I'm just making that point because Jake will hear, you can have many women, and then Jake will go out and legit try and get many women. But look, man, it ain't really the time for that, man. One woman's hell enough as it is. All right, so like I said, that was just a quick correction on that statement that I had made. Lord's will you was edified. To the next time. Shalom.